Welcome to another edition of the Godless Anti-Theist, featuring the godless truth and how to live the good, godless life. You know, living the good, godless life. One of the aspects of living this good, godless life is the fact that you haven't sold your soul. You haven't sold your heart. You haven't sold your mind. Now I say you haven't sold your soul. I don't think we have a soul. But if we had one, you haven't sold it. What about those of the religions, the superstitious religions? Christianity, Allah, Judaism, Scientology, Mormonism, etc., etc. There's 5,000 gods in India alone. There's probably 10,000 gods on the earth. 10,000 different religions, all claiming to represent the one true God. Now you take, in this country, the dominant superstitious religion, the one that is constantly whining, the one that is constantly telling lies, the one that is dominating our secular society and our secular government, is Christianity. So, of course, a netcast that originates in the United States is going to highlight the Christian superstition. However, if you are in a Muslim country, if you are in a Jewish country, the same bullshit applies to your superstition as it does the Christian superstition, because the goals and the foundation of all these superstitions are the same. Now, I don't, as an atheist and as an anti-theist, I don't believe we have a soul, something that is survivable after our death. But those who do believe that they have a soul, and the word soul comes from S-O-L, which means son, which I'm sure our ancestors used the word soul to mean energy, because energy comes from the sun. So you're talking about inner energy. We do have inner energy, but that energy generates only as long as we are alive. So there's no soul, S-O-U-L, that is separate and survives after the grave. However, those who believe they have an internal soul that is eternal, and since this is the United States of America, and we, of reason and logic and common sense, have to deal with this dominant superstition, I'm going to feature them, the Christians, superstitious, fascist Christians. So these Christians have this evil entity that they blame for everything. You know, first they tell you everything is God's plan. Then they tell you that much of the evil in the world is because of Satan or Lucifer. However, one aspect of the superstitious Christianity is the fact that they go on about selling your soul to the devil, selling your soul to Satan, selling your soul to Lucifer. But what have they really done? There is no God. So Jehovah, wanting to be worshipped as a God, is a Satan. Since there is no God, and Jehovah wants to be worshipped as a God, Jehovah is the devil. Since there is no God, and Jehovah wants to be worshipped as a God, Jehovah is Lucifer. Jesus is Satan, the devil, and Lucifer, all wrapped up in one. Comes to earth, pretends to be meek and mild, when, if you read further into the Bible, his plan is to die, rise from the grave, and to come back with a sword and kill all non-believers, and to watch over 24/7, 365 those who claim to believe, and if they are shown to question or to do things they are not told to do, they will die as well. You have, throughout history, to know this, Christians battling Christians. When there was, in England, when there was a Catholic king, he would go around slaughtering the Protestants. When there was a Protestant king, he would go around slaughtering the Catholics. That's history. That's self-verifiable evidence. So what have these superstitious Christians done? Why, they sold their soul to Jehovah. They sold their soul to Jesus. And as I say, Jesus portrays himself as meek and mild, but that's just the first part of his agenda. He's teaching his missionaries. First you go in, you act meek and mild. That's what the Pilgrims did. They came over. The English government allowed the Pilgrims to come over here. They were meek and mild acting. They made friends with the Native Americans who were already here, teaching them love and peace. That's what the white man is about. That's what our people are about, love and peace. And when they got the Native Americans pacified, then the English sent their troops and their guns and their cannons, shipload after shipload, and they terrorized the Native American. They brought horses. They rode through the Native American village, and their homes were teepees built out of animal skin, and we would ride through the village, shooting into the tents where the men, women, children, and babies are. These are Christian people. The same thing we're doing today in the Middle East. We're riding through the neighborhoods, the villages, shooting men, women, children, and babies. So there's the history. Verifiable evidence. And these Christians have sold their soul to what they claim is God. But there is no God. So what they've sold their soul to is Satan. What they sold their soul to is the devil. They've sold their soul to Satan. They sold their soul to the devil. And what has the devil promised them? What is Satan's promise? Eternal life. Take this pill, you'll live forever. You know, if a doctor said, I've invented a pill that guarantees you eternal life, and this doctor charged you $20,000 for this pill, and you took the pill, and then later on, you died. As a matter of fact, later on, everyone who took the pill died. Would there be a backlash? Would people be wanting to sue the doctor who's offering this pill that claims to give you eternal life? So they form a class action suit against this doctor, claiming that his pill obviously doesn't work because people are dying. So his counterclaim then is, you have a soul, and your soul continues on if you take this pill. And if you don't take this pill, you just die in the grave. Or maybe you go to hell. Now, there's no way that anyone can verify if there's eternal life after you're dead, because dead people, the definition of what we know of dead people is they're dead. They don't come back to life. That's the definition of dead. Gosh, why do you have to define death? This is how stupid it is. This is how ridiculous it is that you got to explain dead to people. And these people who claim to come back from being dead, that's impossible. You can't come back from being dead. So obviously they weren't dead. They were thought to be dead, but they weren't dead. They came back. You don't come back from being dead. You come back from being 99% dead. You come back from being 99.99% dead. You come back from being 99.9999% dead, but you don't come back from 100% dead. That's the definition of dead. You don't come back. So these people whose brain has suffered a lack of oxygen, a lack of blood flow, a lack of nitrogen and calcium and, all the things that need to be sustaining their life, have come to an incredibly low point in the brain and in the body. And these people come back and say, I've seen Jesus. Yes, in your process of dying, your mind was starved of living, and it had delusions. It developed delusions. Like when you go to sleep and go unconscious, you have dreams. When you're dying, this dream trance state takes hold of your brain. It's being starved. It's in the process of dying. Of course, you're going to have delusions. Of course, as the brain dies, there's going to be flashes of images and sounds. And the proof of it is that when someone in a Muslim country dies and they come back, they don't see Jesus. They see Allah. They see Muhammad. Because that's what they've been taught to see. When you look up and see Jesus in the clouds, you've been given an image of Jesus. Isn't it strange that image you see in that cloud is the same image on all the pictures? Nobody knows what Jesus looked like. Apparently, God didn't want to take a Polaroid of Jesus. Some people say, well, Polaroids weren't invented back when Jesus was roaming the earth. But let me tell you, God